Hey, yo, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless for tuning in. God bless for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you for tuning in. And if you're consistently supporting me, I thank you so much. Well, today I'm going to discuss Dr. George Carter Woodson, the creator. I want to reflect on him, the creator of Black History Month. And I also want to reflect on my thoughts on Governor DeSantis out of Florida, that's planning to ban Black History studies. Well, first I'm going to get into Dr. Carter G. Watts Woodson. And I'm going to get into myself. Let me get into myself first and why I'm, since a youth, 13 years old and 14 years old, growing up, I was always into history, especially Black history. That intrigued me. And I got to learn about a lot of Black inventors. I was able to, because of my interests, I watched films like Shaka Zulu. I watched King, the movie King. I watched Roots, the series Roots, those who don't know, with John Amos. And there's certain people in there that I was intrigued to watch Roots growing up in the 1980s. And it always intrigued me. Looking at documentaries or like Eyes on the Prize, looking at historical civil rights movement documentaries, just getting intrigued by that. And then also looking at series called Like It Is. Used to come on Sunday nights back then too. So I was always intrigued. It always excited me to learn about history, Black history, and get into it. Well, today, as Black history comes to a close and Black history, I was excited to share my post, putting up Black inventors, Black athletes, and also civil rights leaders as well that impact our community in a major way, men and women. But I'm going to go into George Woodson. George Carter Woodson was born in 1875 in Canton, Virginia, to slave parents. And for a long time, growing up, Dr. Carter Woodson would always try to implement and he was interested, like myself, interested in learning about Black history and Black inventors, as well as Black people who really impact the world, who really had contributed to society and really impact our society in a major way. And he wanted to reflect on that. He wanted to bring attention to the world, to especially our people and our community, to bring attention to the struggles and the advancement and the achievements of some of our Black heroes, inventors, civil rights leaders, athletes, actors, actresses. And he wanted to make a day. So in 1929, February 7th, 1929, Black History Month was on. Dr. Woodson, doing his studies as a professor and his studies as a influencer and a journalist, pushed to have in 1926 Black History Week in 1926. It was a week, only a week in February, 1 week, in February 7th, 1926, only a week, it was celebrated. And as time went on, Black children in the schools was celebrated for a week in the 1920s and 30s and 40s as time went on. So Black History Month was only celebrated for a week. And George Carter Woodson passed away in 1950. So as philanthropists and Black scholars came up, and Black civil rights leaders came up with to keep his legacy going. Only in 1975, Black History Month was now celebrated for the whole month of February in 1975. And as time went on, we continually, after 1975, to celebrate Black History Month. Now, to keep his legacy going, all of us, a lot of us in America observe Black History Month, so we're proud to celebrate it. We're proud to keep Dr. Woodson's legacy going as time went on. And we kept it going. We keep it going. I remember as a little boy growing up, little youth growing up in New York, coming to New York and growing up in New York, we used to get the calendars. And then every calendar, and every month in Black History, we had the calendars that we used to observe, the Black History calendars. And from there, y'all would just look into these calendars and just read about Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, Philip A. Randolph, George Washington Carver, Fannie Lou Hamer, all of them, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Huey P. Newton. I would just read Whitney Young, and I would just look into and being intrigued and reading about these Black and civil rights leaders and Black influencers and inventors, Benjamin Bennica, Garrett Morgan. Just look into that and just read up on them. I was so intrigued in it that in 1986, during my junior high school years, they had a big contest in my school about Dr. King. Who could write the best essay on Dr. King? And in the whole entire school, I came in first place. My essay came in first place. And I had to read it in the auditorium to the whole entire auditorium. I was a little nervous, but I read it. People liked it. Had standing applause. And I would remember that as a 13-year-old reading that Dr. King essay and winning, coming in first place. That's how much I was excited and intrigued and just open to just learning more about Black history. I'm also going to address DeSantis in Florida. Governor DeSantis in Florida, excuse me. Now, according to the sources, Governor DeSantis said that the reason why he don't want to he wants to ban Black history studies is because he says There's an ulterior motive behind it. The LGBTQ motive is behind it. And he doesn't want to put the LGBTQ with Black history. Now, to me personally, that's a lame excuse not to promote Black history, not to ban Black history altogether because you have a bigot feel towards LGBTQ community. No, that's an excuse to get rid of Black History Month. I mean, not Black History Month, Black history in the whole, Black history studies. So just think about it. Just think about it. Think about this. Think about it. If it happens in one city, it's like a domino effect. If it happens in one city, it can trickle down to other cities as well. So if we don't band together and stop one city, Florida, one state, Florida, Governor DeSantis that wants to ban African studies, we have to band together and say, listen, you cannot do this. You cannot ban African studies because you assume or you have a bigotry towards LGBTQ community. You cannot ban African studies because as African Americans, you build this country. And American history is Black history. We have to, it's our obligations to teach our youths, even as parents and teachers and the curriculum, to teach our youths about Black history. This is why a lot of us don't know who we are. And you restrict that from us. We're lost. It's an agenda to keep us ignorant. Agenda to put a halt on Black studies, lack of knowledge for our youths. And our youths are very important to us. Very important to us. That's the future. If you don't know your history, you have no idea where you're going. Yes, we have to look forward. Yes, we have to look forward. But it's also good to look in the rearview mirror too as well. We have to know where we come from. We have to know and we have to be proud. We have to be proud people to know where we come from. Because of people that don't know where they come from is a lost people. Or people that don't know where they come from is a dangerous people. Dangerous people. So, and I'm glad during the NAACP awards that attorney and activist Benjamin Crumb mentioned that you cannot stop. Do not. We have to put a halt to DeSantis, Governor DeSantis out of Florida, about stopping Black studies, Black history studies, for some lame excuse. We got to teach our children about the Kush dynasty. We got to teach our children about Queen Nijinga. We got to teach our children about Marcus Garvey. We got to teach our children about Frederick Douglass. We got to teach our children about W.E.B. Du Bois. We got to teach our children about Marcus Garvey. We got to teach our children about George Washington Carver. We got to teach our children about Fannie Lou Hamer. We got to teach our children about Harriet Tubman. We got to teach our children about Malcolm X. We got to teach our children about Dr. King. We got to teach our children about Fred Hampton. We got to teach our children about Huey P. Newton. We got to teach our children about Adam Clayton Powell. We got to teach our children about Whitney Young. We got to teach our children about Benjamin Banneker. We got to teach our children about Garrett Morgan, the inventor. We got to teach our children about Black inventors. We got to teach our children. We have to. It's our obligation to teach our children. We got to keep the legacy of Black History Month as well. We got to keep the legacy of Carter G. Woodson. It was our obligations to teach our Black children, our youths who's coming up in this wilderness about Black history. So I hope in our communities, our Black Caucus, the NAACP, Action National Network, come together to stand against Governor Gov.Desantis in Florida on banning Black history studies. We got to keep our legacy going. We got to keep our studies going to help our youth. It's important to us that we teach our youth to be proud of who they are. To be proud of who they are. Because if we don't teach our youth, we can't depend on them to teach our youth. We cannot depend on others to teach our youth. We got to teach our youth. And I believe that kids, there should be a curriculum for Black studies. Because you cannot have an American history without a Black history. Black history is American history. And we got to keep that going. We have to teach our youths to be proud of who they are, that we were kings and queens before slavery. We got to teach them about the advancement, the achievements of Black people in this country, in the US. That's important. Because you see the destructive of self-hate, the destruction of the youths killing each other. They're killing each other without care. Because if you don't know who you are, yes, our community have a lot of problems. Yes, there's a lot of single parents out there. Yes, I understand that. I get that. A lot of single mothers out there. Yes. Yes. I get that. And we need work in our community. But this is where if we're a people that's proud of who they are, a people that's proud of who they are, and know where they come from, and then we can build for our future, build institutions, build hospitals, support our businesses, support Black businesses. If we come together and we do some more support of each other and more supportive of each other, you'll never have a Gov.Desantis coming up with a plan like that. We as black people got to band together. First of all, we got to teach our youths to be proud of who they are. And we got to support our businesses and build our own institutions. Black Wall Street happened 100 years ago already. Rosewood, 100 years ago. Red Summer, 100 years ago. Over, because that was in the 1920s. So that makes it 100 years. Let's keep Dr. Carter G. Woodson's legacy alive. And do not let Governor DeSantis bland Black history studies for his own agenda. And coming up with a lame excuse about LGBTQ community. That's bigotry in its best. So, I had to share this with you today. This is Zacchaeus, and a live word of the day is coming out of Hosea, chapter 4, verses 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. My people will perish. Well, this is Zacchaeus coming to you with another live word of the day. Be safe out there. And remember, it's important to know who our Black inventors are, our achievers are. It's important to know who Madam C.J. Walker is. It's important to know who Harriet Tubman is. It's important to know who Fannie Lou Hamer is. Those people are important. Whitney Young, Benjamin Bennica, Garrett Morgan, Queen Najinga, Shaka Zulu. It's important. Frederick Douglass, Philip A. Randolph, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Washington Carver. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. The list goes on. Our Black achievers. The list goes on. NAACP, CP, Black Caucus. It's important to us to keep our legacy going. Important. Important to keep our legacy going. Important to keep our legacy going. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's important for us. Yes. God bless and be safe out there. But this is Zacchaeus coming to you with another live word of the day. God bless. I'll be coming to you with more videos. If you like this content, hit the smash like button and also be safe out there. God bless and blessings.